Coach, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, guys. Great to be on the show.
Yes, indeed. Joe Burrow, as we said, you heard from him coming in. He's starting to feel a little bit more comfortable around his teammates, around his coaches. What's been the most impressive thing to you through the first 5 games about your signal caller?
His leadership, his confidence, his ability to react under pressure when everything is not right. He's getting better every week. He's always in the office studying film. Tremendous leader, tremendous football player for us.
Coach, you mentioned yesterday that you've been kind of urging Steve Ensminger to maybe use him more as a rusher last week. And last week we saw him close out the scoring from you guys in the fourth quarter with that long run. Do you like the balance of run and pass that your offense has been playing with through the first 5 weeks?
Yes, I do. I think Steve has done a tremendous job of calling plays. He's getting more comfortable with Joe and really learning the skills of our different players like Stephon Sullivan, D. Anderson, and using those guys in the correct way. I think you saw Steve Ensminger's offense last week. It was tremendous.
Yeah, Coach, does it feel like to you, because outside looking in, it kind of feels like this was an offense, and it makes sense. A lot of turnover, new quarterback only been there a couple months. Steve Ensminger kind of made this offense from the ground up. It feels like this offense is still kind of finding itself. Do you agree with that? Is
Yes.
this offense still figuring
Yes.
out what it succeeds at?
Yes, we want to be a spread offense, and it takes a transition, and we run the plays that we think our guys can run the best. Every week there's going to be a new wrinkle. The more that Joe can handle, the more we're going to give him. We want to use the talent on our football field, spread the ball around, and Steve's doing a tremendous job of that.
Yeah, and one thing that I loved, Coach, I was very critical after the Southeastern game about some of the scheme and whether or not it was helping the offensive line in protection. But I think the last 3 games it's been masterful. You have an O-line where you've had 5 different starting lineups in 5 games, and yet just 1 sack given up per game the last 3 games. What can you say about the job that James Craig and that O-line has done?
He's done a phenomenal job, and the one thing about Coach Craig, he's a grinder, and he works about offensive line play and offensive line play only. He's a tremendous man. We changed some things up since the Southeastern game, got more receivers out, got rid of the ball quick, got some slide protection. It's working.
Yeah, and Coach, one of the reasons why it's working is because of the emergence of that wide receiving core. You mentioned D. Anderson and Stephon Sullivan, the big bodies get it done. Justin Jefferson seems to be that consistent, just always rely on number one guy. Past that, I think it gets more interesting because we've seen every one of the other guys kind of make plays at times this year. We had a listener earlier asking about the role of Jamar Chase. It seems like every time he touches the ball, something good happens. 1 target last game. Is there any plan to get Chase more involved moving forward?
Yeah, we'd love to. I think he's an excellent young player, one of the best receivers in the country last year. Him and Terrence Marshall, they're both making plays. We want to get the ball in their hands more, and hopefully the opportunity comes up this week.
Coach, before we talk about Dave Aranda and his group and the performance that they had last week against Ole Miss and that offense really throttling that group, one more about the offensive line. You okay with Lloyd Cushenberry? I know he dressed out yesterday but didn't participate, but okay with where he is on Monday and now going into Tuesday of game week?
I think he's going to be fine. I think he's a little bit better than I thought he'd be Monday. I expect him to play Saturday.
Talking to Coach Ed Orgeron here on Off the Bench on 104.5 and 100.3 ESPN. That's big news right there. Coach, you're going on the road to Florida this week, and I know you've talked a lot already about what that experience in the swamp was like last year. But with this season, the fact that y'all have gone to Auburn into an environment that intense, and you came away with a win, how valuable is that experience to this team going into this Saturday?
It's very valuable. It gives you confidence. Know how to travel together, know what to expect in the hotel. It's going to be hot there. It's going to be 91 degrees. It's hot at Auburn. It's going to be the same time. It's going to be a tremendous challenge. It's going to be a seesaw battle back and forth. We're going to keep on battling, and our focus is to win the game. That's all our focus is going to be when we get on the plane, win the game.
Yeah, I always used to get so hyped before these games because just like the minute before, you just got like 4 hours of a fist fight coming up, and one team's going to emerge as the victor. And thus far, Coach, y'all have been the victor, 5-0 at this point. We're 5 games into the season. That's almost halfway. Who has exceeded your expectations thus far?
I can't say that, T-Bob. We take it one at a time. The thing I like best about our team is we're playing as a team. We're getting better. I know the competition is going to get stiffer. It's going to start this week. We have a tremendous schedule coming up, so My expectation was just to get this team better every week. We have done that, but we have a tremendous schedule ahead of us. This could be a tremendous challenge.
I love what you said about the consultants yesterday, Coach, and really this team through first 5 games looked as good as LSU football team, as well coached as a team since dating back to like the early 2000s. The consultants and how they've helped you guys get prepared. You mentioned all the weight that Dave Aranda had on him last year in breaking down film and getting prepared. How have those guys helped you out now in getting prepared for like looking ahead to a game like Florida this week?
Yeah, for instance, this summer we had a complete evaluation, a complete analysis of Mississippi State, all the offense that they did against us. These guys broke down every game, 12 games. They had a game plan done for us in June. We came back in June and did a game plan, so we're redoing that game plan again. Think about it. You have some guys that have been coordinators, NFL coordinators, defensive coordinators. While they watching film, they can formulate game plans and give ideas to Dave. They've been a tremendous help.
Coach Grant Delpit again last week. We asked you about him a couple of weeks ago when you stopped by here, and then again he makes another play for you early on in this game and kind of set the tempo for your defense. Talk about your second-year defensive back and how he continues to evolve for you guys.
He is a fantastic player, a lot like Jamal Adams. You can use him. He can cover. He can rush. He's a great character young man. We're so excited about him, and I'm excited about Bill Bush and what he's doing with him. You know, the addition of Bill Bush as safeties allows Corey to coach the corners. Bill coaches the safeties. Now we have 2 guys coaching 5 people back there. You can see we're a lot more multiple than we've been in the past. Yeah,
no, I mean, they've been solid hires so far all around. Talking to Coach Ed Orgeron, head coach of the LSU football team here on 104.5, 100.3 ESPN. And, Coach, I want to ask you about Todd Grantham. This is a guy who you saw him a couple of years ago in 2016 at Louisville. And though y'all won that game 29-9, that was a Louisville defense that had 10 TFLs.
Yes.
Obviously, last year at Mississippi State, he did an excellent job of game planning. How are you preparing for that Todd Grantham defense?
Well, first of all, I had a conversation with Coach Craig. Coach Craig and I known each other for a while. I told him this is one of the best coordinators you'll go against. And he's an excellent defensive line coach. And we studied the Louisville film. We studied Mississippi State last year. Todd's been in the NFL. Todd was a mentor under a lot of guys I was a mentor on. We have the same philosophy of attacking. He is an excellent coach. This is going to be a battle, and they're strong up front. That number 99, we got to know where he's at because he is a tremendous rusher. He reminds me of Arden Key.
Other side of the ball, you could hear the respect that you had for Dan Mullen yesterday in your press conference. I know you spent some time around his program your year out of football. What are you anticipating and getting ready for Coach Mullen's offense?
You know, he coached the details. Dan's a very good coach. He was with us at Syracuse. So was John Hevesy, the offensive line coach. I got to spend a couple of days with him at Mississippi State. My year off, they coach very similar to the way we do here. They're hungry, they're humble, and they're very smart.
Last one, Coach. We'll get you out of here. And Coach Ed Orgeron getting prepared for his road trip to Florida this weekend with a couple of minutes here on Off the Bench. Your running backs over the last couple of weeks, it seems like now you're getting some confidence in that group, in that room, as Clyde's starting to emerge and Nick's been that steady force for you all season.
Yes, and we're very proud of those guys. Tommy Robinson has done a tremendous job. You know, we felt confident in Nick and Clyde the whole way. Nick's running a lot faster than he did last year. He's in great shape. We have 2 good backs, and we got some other guys coming along too.
Coach, good luck on the Swamp. Thanks for the time this morning.